Hello guys, so this week's video I'm just going to be doing some fan art of some webtoons and stepping back into the world of digital art. It's been so long since I've done any fully rendered digital art and people have been wanting more digital art videos on my channel, so I thought, why not? I have more time now because the world's shut down. And looking on the bright side of things, people have a lot more time for their personal projects and passions. Maybe they can pick up something that they've been wanting to for a while but just never had the time to. I think during these times it's very easy to feel like you haven't got a purpose. And I've been feeling like that for the last 2 years because I haven't had a job and people have been telling me that what I've done for my personal projects isn't really leading up to anything. And yes, there's this joke that people on YouTube are already social isolating, but I usually just stay at home anyway and I rely on those commitments and appointments that have been happening recently to actually get me out the house and make me feel better about myself. Now that those things are gone, I'm going to rely heavily more on my personal projects. Social norms have been thrown out the window. I think during these times we all need distractions, and I think one of the biggest distractions that has happened to me within the last year is Webtoon. Webtoon is a webcomics app, but it's also a website that you can read comics on, discover new creators. I myself have a comic on Webtoon, and now that I have more time, I can spend more time on it. If you would like to know more about my comic, I will leave the link to it down below in the description. It is called Interconnected if you just want to look it up on the Webtoon app. It is focused on my character universe, so if you've ever wanted to know like little details of my character universe, then it is definitely the place to go. And this is actually the first time that I'm advertising this comic on my YouTube channel. I've always talked about it during live streams, and I actually live stream the process of my comic over on my Twitch channel. If you want to follow me over there, you can. Over the past year, I've mentioned my comic as the secret project or just other projects in the background. When I first came across Webtoon through the comic Siren's Lament, it had me obsessed. And then I found My Dear Cold-Blooded King, and then my weekend was ruined. It's worth noting that I also read Let's Play as well. The artwork for that is not going to be in this video. If this becomes a series of videos, it's definitely one I'm going to be drawing. Lore Olympus is another one. I have a lot of favourites, so there could be quite a few of these videos if it goes down well. And feel free to share your recommendations of webtoons down below in the comments, because I want to read more webcomics and I'd love to know what your favourites are. For this video, I decided the format would be I would pick a favourite featured comic and I would also pick a favourite canvas comic. Canvas meaning comics that aren't promoted by Webtoon and ones that I've found myself that deserve more love. A lot of the featured comics were previously on Canvas, or as it was known, originals, but they became so popular that Webtoon featured them. So the first piece of artwork in this is of the comic Sub-Zero by Juniper. Now, when I think of Webtoon, this is the webtoon that comes to mind straight away. I first found this webtoon because I noticed that the main character, Clove, she looks a lot like my character Loki, and I was like, I wonder what this is about. It's about dragons and royalty, and it had me at royalty and dragons. A lot of the comics that I read on Webtoon are romance based, so I'm sorry if you don't like romance comics. Romance comics are my jam because I am a shipping fiend. I am a piece of trash when it comes to ships. I will go down with that ship. And Clove and Cairo, I will go down with that ship. Purple dragon babies, please. For those who have read the comic, you'll understand what I'm talking about. For each of the comics that I feature in this maybe series, I don't know, I'm still on the fence about it, I'm gonna read the about sections for each of them. So if you're interested in any of these comics, you can go check them out. I'll leave links to them down below in the description. So for Juniper's Sub-Zero, that updates every Monday, what would you sacrifice to save your family? How far would you go to protect your people? For Clove, the last princess of the near extinct dragon clan, the answer is the unthinkable. Marry your greatest sworn enemy in an effort to bring peace to your land. For those of you who know me and my character universe, you'll know why this appealed to me. Also, the aesthetic of this and the art style is just stunning. Oh my god, I love it. It's so sparkly and glowy and oh my god, I love it. Can you tell doing this piece was literally just an excuse to go ham on the glowing effects? Because it was, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So when getting back into digital art, it was really tough because I had to try and decide how I wanted the picture to look. Now previously, I have done so many different styles of digital art. I've done line work, I've done super ultra blended, I've done cell shading, I've done very lazy colour in traditional sketches digitally. I've done several other techniques for digital art as well, so I didn't know what to go with. I think my digital art style should have the name Consistency Who? We don't know her. Never knew her in the first place. At the time of recording this, last week I did my art journey video where I explained from 2010 to 2020, and a lot of it did delve into my digital art, as well as all the different art styles I've had through the years. And if you would like to see a visual of that, just scroll through my DeviantArt gallery, or just watch my DeviantArt videos, because I have a DeviantArt React series that I need to update. I feel like every time I do a digital art video, I always say, oh, I'm so rusty. That is because I just leave long periods of time between each digital piece. And I really need to stop doing that, but I enjoy my traditional work and I can't do traditional and digital work at the same time. And even though I have been digitally sketching for my traditional work, it's not the same as doing a fully digitally rendered piece of artwork, at least in my opinion. In a way, doing this piece was kind of like figuring out how to draw again, especially since I haven't used Clip Studio Paint in this particular way for a long time. I mean, the main reason why I haven't been doing any artwork recently is because Sims exists, and I've become obsessed with The Sims. To the point where I would consider creating my whole OC universe, including the extensively spaghetti-like family tree, and driving myself completely insane. I even have an account for my Sims screenshots. I think I've lost my mind. I have so many unfinished projects at the moment, like the comic, other video ideas. There's a diamond painting that still is not done. But no, Sims has distracted me from everything. I do want to do another Instagram Designs My OC video because I have new polls for that series ready and waiting to be used. But also, my brain is like, hey, why don't you become a Sims YouTuber? To say my brain is all over the place would be an understatement. So basically, this is just me saying and warning you that there might be some Sims artwork content sometime in the future, very near future possibly, because I've been a little bit obsessed, a little bit crazy. If you want to follow the craziness on Instagram, I will leave the link to it down below in the description. A little update from Editing Zoe here. I have made a concerted effort not to play The Sims all day, every day, but my god, it's calling me. But you can tell that I've managed to stop playing The Sims, at least for a little bit, because this video is out. And you're watching it right now. Anyways, the next piece of fan art is of the webtoon Happiness Is You. Now, fun fact, this webtoon is actually made by my friends Tatty and Candy, and they also go by Catty Comics. If you've been following my channel since about 2015, you may know who they are already, but they actually have this comic, and they have several other comic projects in the works. I thought I would do fan art of Happiness Is You because, for one, it's a super cute comic. Tatty writes it and Candy illustrates it. It has such an adorable story and the characters are so well developed. And if you know a bit about their characters and stuff, you'll see all the little Easter eggs sprinkled throughout. It's so cute. From what I know, they update it every other week and I do look forward to their updates. Now I'm probably going to pronounce some of the names wrong because Tatty and Candy, they really like unique names. So you two be testing my pronunciation skills. Matvey Vendenaev is a young man trying to get through life while struggling with his social anxiety and overall awkwardness. Through strange antics and events, his life seems to suddenly turn around after an unexpected meeting with a kind young man on the bus. Will they meet again? Will they be able to overcome their personal hardships and perhaps, after all, get to their happiness? What's also really great about this comic is the fact that Tatty and Candy are both incredibly interactive with their readers. We must protect Matvey at all costs. Protection squad, assemble, please. We have to protect our little lamb. And Solomon? Angel baby. 100% Zoe approved. Would ship again. To say I'm a fan of this comic is an understatement. And it's not just because they're my friends. And all of their success so far is very well deserved. I've supported their other comic ventures in the past and will do for the future as well. In 2017, they did for Inktober, a comic page every single day, both of them, not just Candy, Tatty as well, and they were beautifully illustrated, telling this story that went between the two accounts. It was a masterpiece. I could never. Is this video an excuse to gush about things I love? Yes. Yes, it is. So the artwork process for this one was slightly different to Sub-Zero in the fact that, especially during the colouring stage, I just wasn't feeling it. Sketching and line work came so easily with this one, but with the colouring, it took a lot of time. I was definitely doubting my own abilities and feeling like I had just regressed so much in digital art. I go through these phases where I feel like every piece of artwork I've done is just really bad, and nobody can tell me otherwise either. But I did keep with it, and I'm so happy I did because it just turned out way better than I thought it was going to. Throughout the entire colouring process, I just didn't like it, and then there came a point where I was like, oh, this is not too bad. Okay, it's getting better. Okay, I like it now. And I've had traditional paintings that have gone exactly the same way in the past. What's interesting to note is that this composition actually mirrors something that I was going for with a previous collaboration that I did with Tatty myself. How I first met Tatty and Candy were through collaborations here on YouTube. At the time, they both had art YouTube channels. Tatty, respectively, had Tatty 1907, and Candy had Kawaii Candy. For my collaboration with Tatty, the very first round of suggestions kind of related to anime and Death Note came up, and one of the compositions that I came up with was very similar to Solomon's pose in this picture that I'm doing right now, so I thought it was a really interesting parallel. I don't know whether I can find the file on my computer, but if I can, I will put it up right now. But as they say, things come full circle, and that thought about the composition was definitely a full circle moment for me. I really hope Juniper and Tatty and Candy, respectively, like the pieces of fan art that I've done of the Webtoons, because I legitimately enjoy their content and will be reading more as time goes on. There is a part of me that wishes Tatty and Candy both still did art YouTube videos, but I know that that is not completely possible for them, especially with the amount of projects that they do together. And even through the bumps in the road that have inevitably happened, I've never once stopped following them and what they do. Seeing their art improvement is just inspiring. It's amazing. And their characters are just so great. They have such a passion for their characters and their stories that it's just a joy to watch them create. More people should know about Happiness Is You because it's so good. It has been popping up more on the canvas's radar, but it needs more love. So do you guys have any recommendations for me to check out on Webtoon? Because I would love to read them myself. If you have a comic yourself, you can recommend your own. I would love to support canvas creators, being one myself. If I can pry myself away from my Sims games for long enough, I have plenty of time to read new comics and also catch up on the ones that I need to catch up on. Looking at you, Siren's Lament, that has so many chapters I need to catch up on. I'm overwhelmed. I really hope that this video will serve as a positive thing that you can watch during this period of quarantine, and I hope that Webtoon can serve as a really great distraction, because it does for me. But with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can like and subscribe if you haven't already, with those post notifications on, for post notifications for every time I upload. I do mainly live stream on Twitch now, so I'll leave all the links down to everything I've mentioned down below in the description, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!